think the first album I ever heard was a Beethoven, just piano versions with, I guess they're called sonatas. There's no orchestral stuff, just the piano with like nature sounds. I remember something about nature sounds.
The first album I listened to as a kid was probably Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. Probably one of the more recent albums I've listened to a lot is Sturgill Simpson, Meta Modern Sounds in Country Music.
Yeah, that album by Hozier is amazing. It's obvious that he knew what he was doing right from the get-go. Every song is interesting. That guy's been a huge breath of fresh air. They used to be called Cooter, and then they changed their name to Autopilot Off. And I remember my friend's dad dropped us off and was like the chaperone in the back while we did like the mosh pit.
Yeah, my first concert was the Samples, who were based out of Colorado. They were, I think, a Boulder band. Big night in the city, same thing. Parents would kind of drive us in and pick us up.
I went out of my way to see a band called Alt J in Denver at this venue called the Fillmore, and it was awesome. I was upstairs in this kind of bleacher, wooden seats, and just kind of got to gaze and watch a show, which I haven't done in a long time.
The last band I feel like we saw was, well, we saw them together actually, was Delta Spirit.
Oh yeah.
They came through. My first job was, I think, a caddy. You wear 2 bags and walk 18 holes and give these older guys advice on what they should hit, even if you didn't know what you were talking about, or read putts.
I think at 14, my first job was maintenance at this municipal pool. I was bussing tables at a sushi restaurant in Denver, and like bussing tables and bar backing, kind of getting the ice and stocking all the alcohol. And
I was working across the street at this deli/restaurant that was owned by the sushi restaurant. So sometimes I'd bus tables, but mostly I was working at this, it's called Den Deli in Denver.
I can remember making a drum set out of old Folgers coffee cans and Tupperware and using chopsticks as the drumsticks.
First instrument I actually picked up was trumpet. The instructor wouldn't give me first chair because I refused to learn the scales. And he's trying to like teach me a lesson.
I bought this synthesizer. It's called a Dave Smith Prophet 08, and it's really cool. It's not something that we implement with our live sound, but it's fun to kind of noodle and toy around with.
A guitar, I bought another Martin. They're like 0018 is the model. I just wore out a couple of them in the last few years.
That'd be the Pussycat Lounge, right? In
Yeah.
New York City was this like low-level strip club that above, there was like the first floor was a strip club on the
It's like
street.
burlesque, actually.
Oh, okay. What was cool is it was our first show in New York City. We were living in New Jersey at the time, so I want to say like 75 or some ridiculous number of people came out to support us. And the sound guy got there super late. And he's like, what the hell are all these people doing here? And he made everybody leave and then come back in so that they could get proper payment and like wristbands and stuff.
I was in South Africa and Johannesburg.
Yeah.
I played 3 shows. 2 were in Cape Town, 1 was in Johannesburg, and it was.
I think they couldn't believe we were there. We couldn't believe we were there. It was really awe-inspiring, just amazing. Yeah, I think I was 17, and I was with this girl, Leanne, and it was like very, again, forced. It was like this thing that was supposed to happen. It was like premeditatedly, like we're gonna kiss, and then it was like, yeah, super awkward. And
my first kiss, I think, was Ashley Kinney, and it was in a basement. One of us had just eaten Doritos, and there were braces involved. Like, it was very strange. There was a few of us all sitting on a couch, all doing the same thing. It just felt very forced. So that was my awkward first kiss. Kissed my bulldog the other day. We're both married, so so I guess it doesn't count anymore.